In this video, we're going to learn about the qualitative differences of the three different cases you get when solving a second-order differential equation. The first two cases are fairly similar, the overdamped or the critically damped. So again, the overdamped is when you solve and you find two different s values that are both real numbers. And if you look at the graph here, you can see the overdamped. It starts out at 0, comes up, and goes back to 0. And you see where it kind of flattens out there at the maximum. For the critically damped case, that's when you're solving your quadratic equation and you get a repeated root. That's kind of like the perfect balance of coming up and coming down here. The third case is the underdamped case. This is where you get complex numbers here. So the complex numbers, right, because of that I, that's where you get the sines and cosines from. Just to remind you, right, the answer for two different real roots is something like k1 e to the s1t plus k2 e to the s2t. So if you were to graph that for two different numbers, s1 and s2, that are both negative, you're going to get a graph similar to what we have shown here. Whereas if you have the repeated root case, it's k1 e to the s1t plus k2 t e to the s2t, and that will give you the second graph there. But in the third case, that's where you're going to get e to the alpha t cosine beta t, and then e to the alpha t sine beta t. Again, the alpha is negative here, or the way we show it in the graph here, put e to the negative alpha. As long as you understand that it's going to be a negative exponent, all three of these cases are going to have a negative exponent because the transient response is always going to go to 0. And so the sine and the cosine, though, they give this wiggling back and forth here, and that's considered the underdamped case. So this is just a quick overview of graphically what's happening in the three different cases when you solve your second order equation.